What is upselling? It's a fantastic question. I'm glad you're here and I'm excited to answer it here for you. Upselling, if you want to be able to increase how much money you get per customer, if you don't want to go out and find more customers, you're in the right place. I'm going to teach you how I add tens of thousands of dollars to each funnel without finding additional customers. Let's dive in. Hey guys, upselling is nothing more than giving people the option to spend more money. Sometimes when I say that or you hear the word upselling, you get this image of this greased up used car salesman who's just like, you want this? That's not what I'm talking about at all, right? You're being upsold 24/7, you may not even know it. So if you're looking up a video like this and you're watching a video like this, I'm gonna show you some natural places already around you right now you're being upsold, and how you can use similar tactics that are low pressure to increase your cart values and make more money without finding more customers. Now let's dive in. One of the most natural ways to upsell people is actually while they're in the middle of checking out. Think about it, they've already said yes to you. I also wanna show you, where else do you see that right now? All right, grocery store, right? I'll be with my 3 little girls, we'll be in the checkout line, we're putting our stuff, bleep, 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 right? What do they have all over the place? They got trinkets and snacks and they got sugary things and little just add-ons. Yeah, I'll take some of that. You didn't go there for gum, but you toss gum in right there, right? That's an upsell. Now, they make tons of money like that. Just nice little placement things that are cheap right there next to checkout. You're being upsold all the time. Would you like to biggie size that? That's an upsell, right? You're in the middle of checkout and someone gives you the opportunity to buy more. That's upselling. It's natural. It's not a weird thing. So here's some really easy ways to do that inside of the internet. All right, one of the easiest ways, and we do it pretty frequently, is called an order bump. If you're on an order page and you're putting in your credit card, there's a little tiny box that we'll put at the bottom that's like, hey, this is 20 bucks. Since you're here, you came here to buy that, but you want to toss this in for 20 more dollars? Those order bumps are magic. We have made so much money with order bumps. A lot of times it will pay for the cost of the ad that got them there. So it will actually liquidate our ad costs. Order bumps are killer. This next one is also on the order page. I heard about this from one of my buddies. His name's Trey Llewellyn, awesome guy, mad respect for him. He made tens of millions of dollars in a couple months. I don't know the exact number, but it was crazy. He set a lot of records like for the internet. I mean, it's crazy cool stuff, very smart. He had this order page and there was this, you could buy this little trinket. And he noticed that there were some people who were coming in and filling out their stuff and then they would leave. And he would see some of the, he was seeing it and he's like, what? So he called him and he's like, how come you didn't buy? Why didn't you buy that? And the person was like, well, I was trying to see if my buddy wanted one also. So I was gonna come back. He's like, you want 2? I remember him telling me the story. He's like, you want 2? So what did he do? Instead of just the ability to buy 1, now he's like, you can buy 2. All right, time goes on, time goes on. Same thing happens. Someone comes in, they start buying and they back away. He's like, how come you didn't buy? He's like, well, I wanted to see if me and a buddy, plus there's someone else. I actually wanted a 3rd one. You want 3? This continued until his page literally had quantity options of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, 200. Crazy. And at the beginning, he was only ever selling 1. Giving people the option and the quantity option to purchase more, one of the easiest ways to upsell. Did you have to find and buy a new customer? No. The same customer just bought a ton more of that thing. It's like, Steve, I can't use that in mine. That's fine. Those of you who can, you're welcome, just gave you a raise. Another one for the order page is what's called an exit pop. If you are on an order page and you're like, someone starts to mouse away, be careful with this one, sometimes it can be annoying, right? You start to mouse away off the page, a little pop-up pops up. And this is what we like to say on it so it's not annoying. Hey, if you would rather order by phone and not put in your information on this page, that's totally fine. Call this number right here, you're gonna talk to Sharon or whatever, right? We'll put a name there, we'll put a picture of the person, we'll put the phone number. It's crazy how many sales you can save by doing that. That's a great one when you're trying to upsell, and it leads to a lot of upsells as well. All right, let's go to the next set of strategies for upselling. Let's move away from the order page. What do you do after they've purchased? What are some cool upselling strategies after they've purchased? Russell Brunson once told me the story of where he first realized what upselling was after exactly what I'm going to tell you right here. But he made the mistake of, this is when he's brand new, ClickFunnels was not a thing. He had like 8 upsells, right? So basically somebody bought a thing and the next page was like, do you want to add this? Yes or no. Do you want to add this? Yes or no. Do you want to add this? Yes or no. Like 8 times, I don't know how many, but it was a lot of times in a row. And he was like, oh man, I'm helping my customer. Like all these people are loving it. They put a review software on on the funnel, and everyone was like scathing. They're like, are you kidding me? Another, like, so ticked, so pissed off at the fact that he's doing another upsell, another upsell, another. You can upsell too much is the point. And what we've kind of found, and the rule of thumb that I've been using is I usually don't do more than 2 upsells. All right, I usually don't do more than 2. More than 2, and for me, I'm starting to get nervous if they're gonna be a little bit annoyed with it. So that's been kind of a rule of thumb for the industry, is if you have one thing, we don't put more than 2 pages of upsell. Do you wanna add this? Wanna add this? Sweet, that's it, right? Otherwise, it can kind of get a little bit flustered. So I would just add 2. So here's how we do it. Remember this adage, this rule of thumb should always be in your mind. The second yes is always easier than the first yes. So what's the best time to sell somebody? The moment after they've bought something else. But Steve, I can't do that because they've just bought something else. Totally the opposite. It is the easiest place to sell somebody. They just practiced buying. It was a dress rehearsal for the next thing. Okay? So what we do is we have an order page, and the very next page is an upsell. Immediately. Very next page is an upsell. There's all kinds of strategy on pricing I'm not going to go into here, but that's the best place for you to actually put upsells and increase your average cart value. Before I go into this last strategy on how I like to go upsell, please subscribe. I love making these videos, and please let us know what you've been thinking about them. Push the red rectangle button, says subscribe right there. It's free for you, but means a lot for us. Press the like button if you're liking this, and also the bell. I'd love to know in the comments too, what's been the most annoying upsell you have ever experienced in your life? I just think it'd be funny. All right, this is the third place I always put upsells. It's one of my third practices, and also one of the most important practices. It reminds me of a scene in the show The Office, though. I love the show The Office. I think I've seen every episode almost 4 or 5 times now. I'm obsessed with that show. I love that show. There's a scene where Michael Scott, if you haven't seen the show, Michael Scott is being quizzed by this guy named Ryan. And he goes, how much is it easier to find new customers or sell existing customers? And I don't know if this is a true stat, but the principle is true. And he says it is 8 times more expensive to find a new customer than it is to sell an existing customer. No idea if that's a true stat. It is a true principle though, and we use it all the time. So I bring that up because one of the most natural places for you to upsell is actually on the thank you page. The actual charge is over, the purchase session is over. Yeah, it is, but you can immediately introduce the very next thing. So I do it on the thank you page, and here's 2 quick strategies that I like to use the most frequently. Okay, so they've gone through, they clicked on the order page, they bought, they get the 2 upsells in there. On the thank you page, I basically do something like this. We're excited to have you, we're shipping out that thing. Or, we're excited to have you, check your email because you probably have access to the thing already, or you will very soon. But I don't want you to sit around waiting, being bored. So I'm gonna start your training right now. And basically what I do is I start a webinar. I'm gonna show you how to blank without blank. I'm going to show you, here's a free presentation on blah that took me 2 weeks to put together for you. And what it does is on the thank you page, I start to upsell to immediately the next tier of pricing. This has been so powerful that we will add another $20 cart value per buyer by adding that in there. If you're like, Steve, that's straight technobabble, that's totally fine. You can experience that on some of my pages. You'll see what I'm talking about. So we call it a thank you page webinar. A thank you page webinar immediately sends them to the next thing. The other way that we do it, the second way I like to do it on thank you pages, is we will create what's called an offer wall, where we'll say, I started doing this a lot when I was working for Russell at ClickFunnels, and we also did it for some of Marcus Lemonis's funnels for the TV show The Prophet. On the thank you page, we'd be like, hey, and you've experienced this, by the way, right? You're in Amazon, and after you've bought, Amazon says what? Other customers have also purchased this. Right? Do you want to add all 3 of these at the same time, right? You're experiencing this right now. I'm bringing this up just so you know, this is not like a weird internet practice. This is happening to you all over the place, all right? So what we'll do is we'll say, other customers also bought these things. And when they click, it's the beginning of a new funnel. So it just directs them. The worst thing I can do as a marketer is to create a dam and they don't move forward when they would have. I got a free gift here for you. If you go to ofasignup.com, the link is in the description if you don't want to type that. ofasignup.com is a free 5-day mini course. There's something you can buy, but even if you don't, you'll get it for free. Free 5-day mini course that teaches you more of these skill sets, ways to increase your cart value, how to speak and write scripts, what type of video stuff matters, right? It's for free. The link is in the description. It's ofasignup.com.